Alright guys, back with another video for you today and another new house introductory video, a new house introduction on the channel. I've never spoken about SORA DORA fragrances. Do you guys know about them? I discovered their fragrances over at Javoy in Paris while I was on holiday in June. At the beginning of June I discovered them. So I smelled every single one of them there, but I don't remember them. I do remember that two really stood out for me, so I'm hoping I'll discover them here while I'm doing first impressions of all 7 of them here on this video. The fragrances have not been opened yet, so I'm going to smell them fresh almost 2 months later for you. There were 2 that really stood out, as I said, so we'll hopefully find them. But I'm going to let you know all about these 7 fragrances and give you my honest opinion on all 7. And you're going to have a chance at winning a discovery set of all 7 fragrances in a kit if you are a subscriber of this channel in the USA. So find out about SORA DORA fragrances coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, today we're talking about SORA DORA fragrances. One that really stood out for me, actually 2 fragrances stood out for me, but the brand overall stood out to me as some really great smelling fragrances. They are currently selling at Javoy, as I said. That's the only place I know of that the fragrances are selling, and they are also selling on their website, so I have a link to SORA DORA fragrances in the info box. All the fragrances are highly concentrated perfume extract or extrait de parfum concentration, so they're very, very highly concentrated, and I'm assuming they're going to be very, very long lasting. I haven't really worn them, and these are going to be first impressions and thoughts, and I'm going to tell you all about them. Before I get to the fragrances though, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button below and also click the bell icon so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. Who has already sampled these fragrances? Do let me know. And also, if you have heard about them but curious and haven't sampled them, do let me know as well. We're going to go in alphabetical order in this video. So I'm going to start with... it's BROCÉLIANDE. I think that's what it is. The first, and this is unopened, as I said. So let's go ahead and check it out. But BROCÉLIANDE features notes of lime, coriander, bergamot, lemon, ginger for top notes. Heart notes features iris, cinnamon, sesame. Finally in the base notes, civet, caramel, Styrax, rum, castoreum, vanilla. How does that sound to you guys? Okay, so the box is open and it comes with a little cloth to wipe down the bottle if it gets all smudgy. But let me show you the actual fragrance. It's nicely packed in there. Here is what it looks like. That is BROCÉLIANDE. So it's got the SD, SORA DORA logo up top. On the back there is I don't know if you could see that, but there is something written on there. But of course the name BROCÉLIANDE is on the front there. So let's go ahead and smell this one. One more thing, there is definitely a card in the box as well. And I brought out my strips, but I'm going to use the card to spray on. And then of course this cloth is to clean the smudges. I'm assuming that's what it's for here. But let's go ahead and try BROCÉLIANDE. That's the first fragrance. And it does say Collection Universelle on here. Universal Collection. So I think this is one of the ones that stood out for me. There's definitely a rum lime kind of a cocktail thing happening here. So there's definitely some booziness. And I definitely pick up the civet. So to contrast with that kind of... it's almost like a mojito kind of an experience, because there's all these citruses and spices up top, and then there's that rum in the base, some warm notes of spices and things like that. It's a nice contrast with the civet note in here, plus some gourmand notes. So this is definitely one of the ones I remember smelling great. And what I liked about it is that there's that little funk in the base notes of the civet, beautifully contrasted with gourmand notes and lots of citruses. So it almost feels like a sweet take on a mojito. There's the booziness, there's the citruses, there's the spices. This one is absolutely gorgeous. I remember this one totally. BROCÉLIANDE, what a wonderful fragrance this one is. I can't wait to wear this one. Yes, we're starting off with a good one here. I don't remember the names when I sampled them, as I was saying earlier, but now that I've revisited BROCÉLIANDE, this is definitely one I would buy to wear. So BROCÉLIANDE is the first fragrance. Has anyone smelled BROCÉLIANDE? Do let me know. And does this sound intriguing to you? I like the whole kind of rum cocktail thing with lots of citruses. It's also kind of lightly reminding me of a warm afternoon, very warm, sipping on a, you know, like a boozy cocktail with citruses and the warmth hitting your face at like some kind of a coastal setting or something. So that is quite a gorgeous offering from SORA DORA. Let's move on. And the next one is Gladiator. This one right here, unopened. First impressions for you. I don't remember what this one smelled like, but judging from the notes, to me, I do kind of remember it being sort of in that fresh, kind of very, what do you call it, crowd-pleasing kind of a smell. So it's a very universal kind of a smell that I've smelled in a lot of fragrances, but I just want to smell it again to let you know what it smells like. But Gladiator is in here, once again, similar box, and it does come with the cloth inside. This time the cloth is rolled up like this. And then, of course, we have the bottle here, and it says Gladiator there. Has anyone smelled Gladiator? I'm going to spray it on their own cards. Like I said, I did bring out some cards, but I'm going to spray this on the card here. So let's go ahead and see what this one's all about. But for notes, we've got pineapple, grapefruit, lemon, neroli, bergamot for top notes. Heart notes, geranium, coumarine, apple, white flowers, and mint. Base notes, ambergris, cedarwood, vetiver, woods, and patchouli. So I remember now, this one didn't jump out at me, but I do remember enjoying it. This is something that I've smelled before, but it's kind of a take on something like, to me, I think this one reminds me of like a combination of something like Aventus, even Sauvage, and any of those kind of blue fragrances, taking them and kind of putting them together to create this kind of very musky, fruity, you know, like a sheeper style almost kind of a fragrance. I'm getting lots of fruits. But to me, there's pineapple here. I feel like the pineapple is the not necessarily fully matured kind, so it's not sweet, because I'm not getting too much sweetness here, although it might sweeten up on my skin. But on the card, it's definitely there, but it's a young pineapple, not fully ripened perhaps, with that kind of a zingy grapefruit note. There's lots of aromatics here. It's a little sharp, it's a little metallic, it's a little ice cold, which would be perfect in the heat. This one does also lean masculine to me, because this is kind of a male style of a very crowd-pleasing kind of scent. I think this one actually would be perfect in the heat, as I said. Also blending with your own chemistry, it would create a beautiful musk, and I'm assuming this would generate compliments, because I think these are the kind of fragrances that are crowd pleasers, and usually people that smell other people wearing fragrances react positively. At least I have experienced these kind of compliments wearing these kind of fragrances. It's a pleasant smell, but this one is not a fragrance I would jump out to buy. I've smelled fragrances like this, and again, this is not a dupe. It reminds me of other fragrances. It doesn't necessarily fully remind me of Aventus, but then it does, if that makes sense. So it kind of feels like a Sauvage take on Aventus. Does that make sense? Like, it reminds me of the combination of Sauvage and Aventus, not necessarily just Aventus, if that makes sense. But either way, that's Gladiator, the second fragrance I'm talking about today, and I'm going in order. Next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is Gréasque, I think that's how you say it. Gréasque. Gréasque is, I don't remember this one. It does have green writing, so I'm assuming it's got a green experience. The previous fragrance, Gladiator, had blue, and I can see that because it reminds me of Sauvage, and I put that in the kind of blue fragrances category, so it makes sense for that. So I'm assuming Gréasque is definitely green leaning, and the first fragrance had red writing, so it definitely had kind of a warm experience. So let's see how Gréasque is. So we have green here, and we have a lighter kind of a yellow green here. Anyway, so Gréasque is basil, cloves, bergamot, black pepper for top notes. Heart notes features mint, galbanum, violet, and blackcurrant. Finally, in the base notes, blackcurrant, caramel, cedarwood, vetiver, woods, and sage. So I'm going to spray it once again on the card in the box. Here it is. Does it sound green to you? When I see the note of galbanum, I know it'll go green. But let's see how green this one does. It has mint, it has basil. So this one to me is a very green experience, very, very green. To me, it's something... This is very original. So I'm getting the combination of lots of mint. So you have a little bit of like a Beach Hut Man kind of an experience. But with this one, unlike Beach Hut Man, I'm getting the actual mint of like a mint tea, like a Moroccan mint tea kind of an experience here with loads of mint. I'm not getting much fruitiness from the blackcurrant that's featured in here. But up top, it's very aromatic and fresh and kind of invigorating and very green and bitter at the same time. The galbanum adds that bitterness. And the mint adds this very unique herbal experience, and in this particular case it hints at Beach Hut Man, something like that, not necessarily identical, and then it takes on the characteristic of like a mint tea, Moroccan mint tea. So if you like the idea of like a minty green bitter experience, this might work out for you. So I'm assuming it will eventually become earthy, woody, likely sweet, because apparently there's caramel here. But for me, this is definitely something I would wear in the summertime, but it's not one of the fragrances that, you know, I would really jump at getting. It's not to say that it's a bad fragrance, but for me, I have fragrances like this. The first one was a wow for me, definitely. That's definitely one I would actually buy to wear because it smelled fantastic. This one is good. Even the second one was good too. It's just not one that I would like rush out to get, if that makes sense. But either way, let me know if Gréasque is one that sounds great to you. I'd like to find out. It's very, very green, definitely very green. So the green thing definitely did appear, and also very minty bitter. And I'm assuming it does sweeten up with the caramel being in the base notes. If you've worn Gréasque, do let me know how it wears on you. Put a comment down so I can find out. So next up, we've got Camel Oud. First time smelling it on camera. I do remember this, smelling this at Javoy. I can't remember if this one was jumped out at me. There's another one with vanilla I know that jumped out at me. But this does sound like it was probably number 3. But Camel Oud, similar box as you saw. And here we are. Camel Oud does have the kind of this yellow color, so it's still yellow but not as fluorescent as the last one. But this one has notes of elemi, bergamot, cardamom, pink pepper for top notes, heart notes, rose, raspberry, cumin, labdanum, saffron, base notes, oud, cedarwood, papyrus, gaiac wood. Does that sound great to you? Okay, let's smell it. This one does sound great to me, actually. The cumin makes me excited. Love cumin in fragrances. Do you guys love cumin? I know some of you hate it. So this one to me smells like, I would think this is like number 3 so far. I remember the vanilla, which I haven't gotten to yet, and the first one a lot. This one smells like it would be like my number 3 favorite from the list. It's definitely not necessarily very sweet, not necessarily a very sweet kind of a Middle Eastern oudi experience. It has a warmth about it, but not sweet warm, rather than like a warm and kind of cold at the same time, if that makes sense. So I'm not experiencing a there's a freshness about it for sure. Elemi, bergamot, cardamom, pink pepper, sort of a fresh start. It's not getting very ambery either, so it's kind of like a very cool, lightly warm take on oud experience here. But eventually it's warming up on the card. I do experience the cumin for sure. It definitely stands out. Cumin, you can totally smell it, and if you're very, very sensitive to cumin, you'll definitely pick it up here. If you enjoy it, you might really like it in here as well. To me, this smells something like an oudi take on Guerlain's Bois Mysterio. A little different, a little less green, and a little less leathery than Bois Mysterio. More on oud and woods and spices. Yeah, it's nice. I like this one. This would be my third choice if I react really, really positively to that other one that I really enjoyed when I smelled at Javoy. But let me know if you've tried Camel Oud from SORA DORA, and let me know what your thoughts are so far on the fragrances I smelled today. So moving on, we've got Mandorle, this one right here. I think that's how you pronounce it, Mandorle. So this one is purple. So for notes here, we've got cocoa, almond for top notes, heliotrope, tonka beans, suede, and rum for heart notes. Base notes, cashmere, vanilla, woods, and musk. Cocoa excites me, almonds excite me. This one sounds like it's a gourmand. We've got the kind of purplish theme here with the colors. Mandorle is here, the purple right there. So let's go ahead and check this one out. This one does seem like it's going to be a leathery gourmand. Ooh. Oh yeah. This is yum. Yum, yum, yum. So this is not the one I remember. So maybe there might have been 3 that I really enjoyed. This would be the first one I smelled. And this is definitely number 2 so far. Probably this might even be ahead of number 1. Damn, this is good. This is really, really delicious. I'm smelling something very bright, but gourmand at the same time, and very musky and almondy. Leather in the background and booziness in the background as well. This is delicious. This is definitely one I would buy. Really, really great. So far, 2 out of the ones I smelled, I would buy. But I know there's definitely one more. I think it's called Orchidee Vanille. Orchidee Rouge, I believe, is what it's called. And that smelled fantastic because it's definitely a red orchid it stands for, but I definitely remember it having vanillic touches. All right, moving on to the 6th fragrance in the alphabetical order of SORA DORA fragrances. We've got Orchidee Rouge. I said Orchidee Vanille, but it's a vanilla, but it's called Orchidee Rouge. So I remember reacting very positively to this one as well. This is definitely one I would pick up. And me, I love the vanilla, really, really love it, and I crave them all the time. I love sweets. Maybe that's why I love vanilla so much. I don't know. But those of you that are men that love sweets, do you also love vanilla fragrances, or do you just not wear vanilla? Let me know that one. But Orchidee Rouge has notes of bergamot, orange, elemi for top notes. Heart notes features heliotrope, ylang ylang, almonds. Base notes features rum, caramel, resins, musk, and benzoin. Yum, that sounds delicious. Let's smell it. Oh, I could smell it. Oh yeah. This is a very sexy vanilla. I have to be honest. There is a little bit of a beachiness about it also. Definitely lightly tropical, very lightly tropical, beachy, boozy, fresh, and almondy vanilla. This is delicious. Very, very delicious. It starts off very fresh and resinous. It's got a sweet tartness about it, mostly sweet with the citruses. And then almondiness develops with a little bit of that tropical yellow floral touch of the ylang ylang. Heliotrope is powdery, so this is definitely a powdery experience here we're dealing with. But that ylang ylang, I think, adds a little bit of a tropical twist to the fragrance. This is delicious. Yeah, Orchidee Rouge is definitely a winner for me. I really love it. Really, really do. So that is the 6th fragrance I'm talking about, but definitely would rank high on the list and one that I would totally buy. And we've got one more fragrance to talk about, and that is Vanuatu, this one right here. So I don't remember this one. I don't remember if it is one that really stood out. I just don't remember. I know 2 or 3 did, obviously. I thought it was 2 originally, but it's 3. But let's go ahead and try Vanuatu. I think that's how you say Vanuatu. And I haven't been mentioning, but each one does come with its own cloth. So Vanuatu features fig, cardamom, black pepper, bergamot, and rhubarb for top notes. Heart notes features violet leaf and cumin. Base notes features sandalwood, patchouli, and cedarwood. How does that sound to you? Alright, Vanuatu has the green again. Green on top as well. Alright, let's smell this one. Okay. Yeah, I do remember this one now. I like the whole fig and cardamom combo with a twist of the cumin and the ozonic touches of the violet leaves here. This is definitely one I would wear as well. So I think this would be number 4. And I'll tell you the list in a bit, but this is really good. This is more of a fresh ozonic experience, like an ice cold experience. When you first spray it, the cardamom adds a fresh spice to the you know, the experience. Black pepper even adds a fresh spice. Rhubarb, a little fruitiness, but I'm not picking up too much rhubarb here. Of course, the fig is very, very prominent here, and I'm assuming this is not the fig fruit, it's the fig leaf, because I'm not getting much of a fruitiness even from the rhubarb that's in here. Yeah, this is nice, and it's very peppery. The experience of pepper is definitely very, very prominent here. So yeah, that's the whole entire collection from SORA DORA. Really great fragrances from SORA DORA, but definitely I would rank them in a specific order. I will tell you how I would rank these now. Alright, the way I would rank this list is starting with Mandorle, this one right here. Really delicious. BROCÉLIANDE, I think that's how you say it, is number 2. And I think Orchidee Rouge and BROCÉLIANDE are kind of tied. So that would be, I don't know where it would end up. Those 3 are definitely my favorites in the collection. Then followed by VANUATU. VANUATU is also really nice. I would wear that one. The other 3 are not ones I would rush out to get. In fact, VANUATU I wouldn't rush out to get either, but I think it's definitely a great fragrance. In fact, all of them are great fragrances, but the ones that really do it for me are the first 3 of Mandorle, BROCÉLIANDE, and Orchidee Rouge. So that's all I have to say about the brand. I think it's a great brand, a great start with really great fragrances, and the 3 that I really, really love are definitely ones I would wear, and I'd love to put them to use. We've got the autumn coming up, and I think these are going to be perfect for autumn. In fact, autumn or even winter, because they seem like they were pretty big, especially Mandorle and BROCÉLIANDE seemed like they were big. Orchidee Rouge, when I smelled it, seemed a little subdued, but really delicious smelling, kind of boozy, almondy, kind of a lightly tropical vanilla fragrance. So great fragrances. And now let's do a giveaway. I've got 3 discovery sets to give away, and these are sent to me by the brand. In fact, the fragrances are all sent to me as well. The opinions are all honestly mine, so I'm telling you exactly how I'm experiencing these fragrances. You might experience these fragrances completely different. Like the 3 that I said I wouldn't rush out to get are probably ones you might like more than the others. So everybody experiences fragrances differently. It's very subjective. But if you like my taste, you're going to really love the 3 that I really, really love as well. So we've got 3 of these discovery sets to give away. And as I said, these were sent to me, and I'm going to send them to the winners. And I can only ship in the USA. I don't have the budget to ship all over the world, sadly. So if you have a USA address, you can put it down. To participate in the giveaway, please put down what you liked about my video. Which fragrance sounds the best to you? If you were to buy it, which one would you rush out to get? And then also tell me your state you're commenting from. Make sure you're subscribed as well, and that's it. Good luck with the giveaway, guys. Thanks so much for watching today's video overview on the new house on the channel, SORA DORA fragrances. What are your thoughts on these fragrances? Have you sampled them? Do you like any of them? Do they sound great to you? And put a comment down so I can find out. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Alright, I'm going to do a quick recap of the 3 fragrances that I really love from SORA DORA. And those are Mandorle, BROCÉLIANDE, and Orchidee Rouge. And also, VANUATU was also a pretty great fragrance for me. The other 3 I wasn't very excited about, so as I was saying earlier, you might react differently to these fragrances, but these warm ones are ones that I really, really enjoy. So let's quickly smell these again. This time I don't have notes or anything in front of me, and I'm going to tell you what I'm experiencing, and then I'll tell you once again the order of which I like these fragrances. But first one we're going to sample is Mandorle. This has a very liqueur-like experience. It's also a very fancy liqueur. I get that. There's a major booziness, and I love boozy fragrances, and all these 3 had the booziness. And I think that's what I like about these 3. But this one definitely has this booziness. I get the experience of red, something with red berries, and then there's also chocolate and vanilla, but almonds also. Really, really good. This is really delicious, very gourmand, very boozy. So that's Mandorle, and then let's try BROCÉLIANDE. That's this one here. Let me tell you what that one's all about. Let me get a strip here. Okay, yeah, this is another really delicious one. This was the first fragrance I smelled, and this one has that kind of mojito-like experience, but a very bright and citrusy, juicy oranges. I get lots of oranges in this one. And then there's definitely kind of like aromatics and mintiness and basil and things like that, but eventually it's warm in the base. So this is really good as well. Really, really delicious. I would actually wear this one, and I like that whole contrast with coolness, freshness with a base of warmth. So Brocéliande, I think this is the correct order. Mandorle first, Brocéliande number 2, and then let's try Orchidee Vanille. No, I keep saying Orchidee Vanille, I don't know why, but it's Orchidee Rouge. What is my mind going to? Vanilla, because it's vanilla. Okay, let's try the Orchidee Rouge. Orchidee Rouge seems a little more subdued to me in comparison to the previous fragrances. The previous two definitely are bigger, louder, more projection and more sillage, at least what I'm experiencing from the initial sprays. But Orchidee Rouge definitely has a little more subdued experience. It's more of a cozy, it's a little more personal, but it's really, really delicious. Really delicious. This is definitely a gourmand with almondy touches and a little booziness as well. And also, as I was saying earlier, definitely there's a beachy a tropical undertone, so it's not like you're fully in the beach, it's just kind of like near the beach, so you're picking up some beachiness and tropical flowers. So that's really great. So I think that order is correct. Let's try Vanuatu again. I decided to leave it here in the box because I wasn't sure. It was going to be definitely one of my favorites, but we're going to experience it once again. Yeah, definitely Vanuatu is number 4. It's that kind of green figgy experience, bitter leaves with the mintiness here. So definitely number 4 for sure. But the first 3, definitely by a mile, I would jump at those because it's kind of gourmandish and kind of delicious smelling experiences, whereas the Vanuatu, I do have something like that, or other fragrances like that, but it's still really like it, if that makes sense. So, and even though the first 3, I might have some fragrances sort of similar to those, not quite, still I react really, really positively to those, and those are really definitely fragrances I really love to wear, especially now that kind of summer is going to be winding down soon, and we're going to start thinking about autumn and winter fragrances. Autumn is my favorite season, so these will be perfect then. Anyway, thanks so much for sticking around for the bonus stuff. Stay tuned for another video tomorrow. Bye bye.